What's happening, you guys? Alright, it is Wednesday, or Tuesday night, whatever it is, December 13. I'm just leaving our mothership, the JCT home terminal in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Just got out of the guard shack, got past the guard shack right now. And it's time to make a delivery in Ochelata, Oklahoma. It's a 50-mile trip from here, actually 51-mile trip. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and reset my leg meter. Yeah, it'll be about a 20-mile trip from here to downtown Tulsa, and then about 30-ish miles from downtown Tulsa to Ochelata via US 95. Or US 75, my bad. I don't know why I said 95. Nowhere near US 95. Alright, we're going to come over here to I-44, head east, over to Tulsa, and then north on US 95. Alright, well actually when we get over to Tulsa, we're going to get on 244. Go around the north end of Tulsa, and there are two different exits I can take over there. Exit 4 or exit 7, I want to say. 4 goes on kind of right down into downtown Tulsa and then kind of veers back around and up, and then 7 is more of a direct route. I usually prefer 7. Now, but 75 south on off ramp at that same exit has been closed the last few times I've gone to Ochelata, so I don't know if that. Yeah, but I'm going north anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, so I'm not gonna have you the entire way up there. I will definitely cut ahead, but I want to make sure I have time to talk about what I want to talk about on this particular video. And the theme on this video is going to be oddly or stupidly or questionably, whatever, situated way stations. I'd like to get you guys' input on some, what your thoughts on some badly positioned placed way stations are. Let me get on here on 44, and then I'll start talking about. I have a list of about 7 of them that would like to talk about, and we'll go with that, and then maybe I can trigger some thoughts from you guys, those of you guys who are drivers especially, in the comments section about any others you might be aware of elsewhere that are worth mentioning. Alright, so first I'm going to talk about one that is down on I-40. Fort Smith, Arkansas. The westbound I-40 scale house there in Fort Smith area, Fort Smith, Van Buren, whatever you want to call that area there. That would be one that I would consider. Why is it here? For one, you're almost ready to leave the state. So, what's the point of making people scale their loads on their getting ready to leave the state in the first place? There's another way station right there as soon as you get into Oklahoma if you're going on to I-40. If you're staying on I-40 westbound. Now the other problem, this might be why it's where it's at, but it's also at the same time it's stupid why it's there. Just west of that way station is the interchange for Interstate 540 going southbound, through Van Buren and Fort Smith, and works its way down toward. I think it's at joining up with US 71 or turns into 71 or whatever, going south, or is that 259 or I don't. Yeah, I know you can end up working your way down to like Broken Bow, Oklahoma, among other places. Basically work your way down toward I-20. So maybe that's why the station is there, for traffic going down that direction, but at the same time, it's like, shouldn't you be more concerned with trucks coming into your state with a heavy load? I mean, with scale problems or whatever, and not so concerned about when they're leaving your state. But my main concern there, though, is you get a lot of four-wheeler traffic on westbound 40. I mean, this isn't exactly California type for heavy traffic, but nonetheless, you still got a decent amount of four-wheeler traffic in the area. Not to mention other trucks that might end up bypassing that way station because they're given permission to bypass by their transponder, like their pre-pass or whatever system they're using. Now, you got trucks coming back onto westbound 40 there after they go through the way station. Now they have to interact with the traffic, cars and trucks alike, that want to get on to 540. And they all want to get over to the right lane, but at the same time, trucks are trying to get up to speed coming out of the way station. So that is one of those, like, why would you put a way station in that type of, in that place? Don't create a, don't create a situation where traffic has to exit at the same time other traffic has to enter. It's just not a very smart way to design things, I think. I don't know. Maybe there's some other rationale that they're using there for that station that I don't know, but that's one of them. Next one I want to talk about are both directions of the Cajon Pass. I-15 in Southern Cal, the one that I live closest to. It's only about a 15-mile drive from my house. In between, basically between Victorville, Hesperia area in California and San Bernardino. Let's start with the southbound side. Now that one is down at the bottom of a steep hill, and it's pretty common. I'll see truckers smoking the brakes going down the pass. You really think that it's smart to make trucks come into a way station after they've been using their brakes coming down the hill? They shouldn't have to use their brakes, but a lot of drivers who are either poorly trained or just impatient and don't want to wait and would rather go ahead and take stupid risks. Both of those exist, and I've seen it. I've seen several times going down that pass myself and watching trucks smoking their brakes. And I've also seen at least a couple of incidents where trucks tried to exit Highway 138, which is right there before the way station, and they lose their brakes. The Shell station, that's, I think it's a Shell station. I want to say it's the Shell station. It's right there. When you're on the southbound off-ramp, if you fail to negotiate the, not quite right. 222 is the exit I want to move over and be ready for the, to get on to 244. Anyway, I know of at least two cases where trucks lost their brakes going down that off ramp, and then they end up going straight across Highway 138. If luckily not hitting anybody, but they go over the embankment and end up crashing into the back of the Shell gas station building right there. Yeah, I've seen it. I've heard of it happening twice. And then there was another time I went through there personally and saw a truck. What was that? I can't remember. It wasn't a Robertson's Ready Mix truck, I don't think. It was a truck pulling double, I want to say open hoppers. I don't know. It was, maybe like a gravel truck pulling double trailers or something. Something along that line, from what I recall. They evidently lost their brakes as well, and they ended up crashing into the embankment right there. Give me my stuff back, my list back. Alright, he ended up crashing into the embankment there where, in the gore point, I guess I would say, between the southbound off-ramp and the southbound lanes and Highway 138. It left a pretty good mess though. Again, why would you put a way station in a spot where trucks are already taxing their brakes and now they have to use their brakes even more to try to get into that way station? On top of that, during commute hours, especially in the mornings, you get a lot of people who live in the Antelope Valley who commute via Highway 138 to I-15 South. Now, Antelope Valley, if you're not really familiar with that, that is basically Lake Los Angeles, Llano, Pear Blossom, Little Rock, Palmdale, Lancaster, all that kind of stuff out there. We call it the Antelope Valley. And there are a number of people who live in that area. They'll come east on 138 over to 15 South to do their commute to work. If they work in Ontario or somewhere in Riverside or San Bernardino County, or maybe even San Diego County. That's another possibility too. I have to keep my speed up because that truck's catching up to me, even though I'm getting into a 60 zone here. But you get a bottleneck there. You get all that traffic trying to get onto 15 at the same time. If that way station's ever open, which it's not open very often, thankfully, but sometimes it is. Now, but when it's open, you have trucks trying to get into the way station at the same time cars are trying to move out of that lane, because they're coming off of 138 and trying to get over into the other lanes. And then, even without the way station being open, you still get a lot of that southbound 138 or the 138 to southbound 15 traffic trying to interact with the traffic that's already on 15, and it bottlenecks there every single time. I believe that if they got rid of that way station and allowed the traffic to flow just straight on through over to at least Cleghorn Road, I think some of those traffic delays that happen in the mornings in the Cajon Pass might ease up a little bit. Now, going to the northbound Cajon Pass scale, same situation. It's right there by Highway 138, just south of 138. That northbound 15 is always bogging down in the afternoons. You got where the truck bypass lanes end over there by just by Kenwood Avenue, down near by the bottom of the Cajon Pass. It narrows down from 7 lanes to 5, where the truck bypass lanes terminate, and then it narrows from 5 lanes to 4, about maybe a mile and a half or so past the previous bottleneck. Well, there's always bottlenecks from that, so a lot of traffic, a lot of local traffic will get off. Either go through DeVore, and it'll get onto Cajon Boulevard, just right there by Glen Helen Parkway, or go up and around through DeVore and continue down over to Cajon Boulevard, which is also Route 66, old Route 66. Take that up to Cleghorn Road. Get back on to 15 right there, right before the way station. So now they're trying to get back on the freeway at the same time the truck traffic is trying to get into the way station. And a lot of those cars, again, they're getting on the freeway and they want to get onto 138 from there. All right, we're gonna get on 244 East right here. So again, if they got rid of that way station and just created an extra lane going from the Cleghorn ramp to 138, I think that area would, I think that pass would have a lot easier, at least somewhat easier, not a shitload easier, but somewhat easier traffic flow trying to get over to 138. Not to mention, it's not by a state line. Why would you have a way station right there? I don't know. I guess for intrastate only kind of truck traffic, I guess that makes sense why you'd have some that are not near state lines. Because that is a thing. So I guess I just answered my own question there. Still, Maybe that station, those way stations should be located somewhere else where there isn't so much, all that bottleneck kind of stuff going on there. It's just, it creates as many problems as it's meant to fix, is all I'm getting at there. Alright, next one. Eastbound Highway 58 in the Tehachapi Pass area. In between Bakersfield and Mojave, California. It's another one. This one here is, it's down at the bottom of a blind curve. Go around go down a hill, and then right after you get around a right curve, the way station's right there, and there's a hill there, so you can't even see the station until you're already practically on top of it. And there's bound to be some people, especially four-wheeler traffic, who are not going to pay attention to the signs saying way station open, slow trucks and stuff. And that's likely to create safety hazards there. Just the safety concern alone is why I think that station shouldn't even exist. Thankfully, it's rarely ever open. I have seen it open a couple times, but it's not very often, thankfully. But like I say, it still does sometimes open up, and it's just too much of a safety risk, I think, by being open at all, or even being there. Next one, Boise City, Oklahoma. I have a couple of videos here on my channel of some fun I had with that particular way station. Now this way station in Boise City is practically right next door to a Love's truck stop on Highway 456. Highway 400 and Highway 456 goes right into town there, and and the signs are horrible. You got one sign on the others on the, to the east. One sign to the east of Highway 287. When you're going westbound, that'll warn you there's a way station 2 miles ahead, but you never get any signs telling you what side of the highway to expect to find it on if you're not familiar with the area. On top of that, they don't have any white and black or black and white signs that direct you to go into there. The only sign, 75 north, that's exit 4 though. That's the other one that I was talking about that I don't normally use anyway. Alright, anyway, though, the only sign they have there, once you're actually on the other side of 287, is after you've already passed the driveway, the left turn driveway to get into there, and it's a green and white sign. I'm like, okay, this is a green and white sign right here. If by that logic, I have to exit the freeway here because it's green and white. It's, you don't put mandatory information on a green and white sign, guys. So if you're gonna have mandatory information, it has to be on a white sign with black writing or a black sign with white writing. Neither of those conditions exist there at that station, and it's just kind of a weird place because, it's been so long since I've been on southbound 287. I used to run through there all the time with Cedar England, but as a JCT driver, it's rare for me to take 287 through that area. And the only time I went through there westbound was when I just didn't feel like dealing with the stupid people on Highway 54. I just wanted to kind of change the pace, go off the beaten path, and maybe not deal with those knuckleheads on. So I don't know if there are signs on 287 that tell you have to go into that way station. I guess there might be, because the video where I got ticketed for that, for bypassing it, by the way, I beat that ticket. That's pretty good. I know I'm going to have a left exit coming up, 1 mile away, so I'm going to slide over here. I don't care if that guy doesn't like, He's getting off there anyway. But I need to be on the left side to exit onto northbound 75, so anyone who wants to speed through here, too bad. Anyway, yeah, but I got those other videos. You can always watch those for all the full detail on it. Wait, shit, no, not that one. The next section. But yeah, that one, you'll see it's kind of like a weird loop area there. Like, so why don't I just take 385 around or whatever? I think that was the other highway there that you cut down through. Or, you know, screw it. I mean, I don't need, you know, I'm sure there are ways to go around that way station there. You know, I don't know for sure. It's just been so long since I've been through there. Maybe people with more experience with that particular skill or that area can tell me if 287 in either direction actually requires you to go into that skill. Because I honestly don't know. It's been too long since I've been through there, and there was never any signs there telling you to go into that station on 287 last times I ever actually went through there. And that's been, like I said, at least a good 4 years, at least. I think I only went through there one time as a JCT driver, and every other time it's always been with Sierra England. Alright, next one is Laramie, Highway 287 southbound. I got this one on the, talking this one as a suggestion from my good friend Jesse. He was not sure about that one. Now, when you're eastbound, let's just say you're eastbound on Interstate 80 there in Laramie, you'll see signs telling you that there's a way station off exit 312, which is Highway 287. But there's nothing that tells you about the station status. It doesn't, and there's nothing that actually directs you to go into the station either. It just tells you there's a station over there. Now, let's just say you really are getting onto 287 from Laramie and going down south towards Fort Collins, Colorado. Do you have to go into that way station? The answer is no. And how I know that is the correct answer is because I went into that way station one time because I'm confused. I don't see any status signs, even on 287, and I don't see any signs telling me I have to go in, but I see that it's open, and trucks going across the scale and stuff, so I decided I'm going to go ahead and go in just to be sure. And usual Wyoming fashion, they always want you to come in with your registration and BOL and all that, and review that and that, you know. So I'm in there and I asked the guy, well, I'm confused. What's the story? Why do I never see that? Like, I can never find a status sign telling me if this station's open or not when I'm coming southbound. And he ends up telling me that's because you don't have to stop here if you're heading southbound, unless you're. The only time if you're heading southbound, when you absolutely have to stop there, is if you are an oversize or some other kind of permitted load where you need to stop there for maybe to pick up permits or something. Otherwise, you can just go right past it on the southbound side. If you're going northbound, though, if it's open, you have to go in. Alright, I got one more that I want to talk about. This was also suggested by my buddy Jesse. I-84 in Oregon. I forget the name of that town there. I want to say it starts with an S, but not Stanfield, but it's the one that's in the mountains there in between Ontario and Baker City. Now, it's off that same exit where that new TA Express was built. That TA Express is actually right across the street from the way station I'm talking about. I don't know. That one, it's one of those cases where you have to exit the freeway, go into the way station, and then come back out and get back on the freeway to, you know, as part of this. That's how you deal with it. Actually, speaking of, Eastbound 40, Shamrock, Texas. That's another one you have to exit the freeway to get to. Northbound I-27, north of Lubbock, Texas. That's another one. You have to actually exit the freeway to get to it. And also, talking about Oregon. Umatilla, Oregon. I know some of you guys want... No, it's Umatilla. No, you can call it Umatilla if you want to. I'm going to call it Umatilla. I have my reasons for pronouncing it that way. We'll just deal with it and leave it at that. That one there, another one. If you're heading from Washington into Oregon, you have to go into that way station. And you have to exit the freeway right after you get across the Columbia River to get in there. If you're going into Washington from Oregon, you do not have to go into that way station. And there is another way station shortly after you get into Washington, right there on I-82. That's my list of kind of weirdly placed or stupidly placed or questionably placed located whatever way stations. With that, there's not really anything scenery here wise to go by, and I don't really want to have an hour-long video, so I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead now to when we're about to get off 75 here. We'll be exiting on County Road 3000. Alright guys, we are less than a mile away from our exit here. I got Walmart DC right here in front of us on the left. Got a couple of things here. Right after I stopped talking earlier, I saw some kind of large, huge, road. I don't know what it was. It kind of looked like a mink to me, but it looked too big to be a mink. I think minks only get about, at most, not even 2 feet long. And I don't think they get very heavy either. This thing definitely looked big enough where it probably weighed at least, I would say at least 30 pounds. I don't know what the hell the thing was. It ran across the road right in front of me. Thankfully I didn't run it over, but made me really curious. What the hell was it? I don't know. So, many of you guys watching are from the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. Maybe you're familiar with whatever the hell I saw. And maybe you can tell me what it is. I don't think minks can get that big, so I don't. But it looked like it could have been a mink. I don't know if my dash cam footage will give you a good enough view of it to where you can actually, say, yeah, it is a mink, or that's something else, something in the mink family perhaps, but bigger. I don't know. Curious. Also, before we get here to the DC, I'll give you a little bit of a traffic safety tip here, guys. When you're driving in snowy conditions or slippery roads, do not camp out next to other traffic. Yeah, there's a reason why I'm saying this. I was heading eastbound on US 70. Basically, I got on to 70 in Las Cruces. Then I went through Alamogordo, over to Roswell, New Mexico, and then up to Clovis, New Mexico, and ended up taking US 60. Well, I was going up the mountain between Tularosa, New Mexico, and Roswell, basically. I started getting snowed on up there, and it was actually, as it got further up in elevation, it was starting to stick pretty good. I wouldn't say it was heavy snow. It was more like the smaller to medium-sized snowflakes. Whatever the case, though, there was a car up there at the front of the pack. Myself and another truck were trying to get by everybody, so we kind of have clean space to work with. Be in our own area where, if anything went on, like if we slip, my thought process is, if you lose control, you don't want anybody next to you, because you don't want to you don't want to end up taking somebody out with you if you make some dumb mistake or slide or whatever, and you don't want to get taken out by somebody else's stupidity either, or mistake. So I was even commenting on it in the footage. Don't do this. This guy, this person in a car is camping out next to a pickup, and they end up, they finally got out of the way after I high beamed them to tell them to get the hell out of the way. Next thing you know, they end up sliding and going over the median and spinning out and facing westbound in the westbound lanes while we were heading eastbound. I was like, yeah, exactly my point. What do you think would have happened if you had done that while you were right next to that pickup and maybe veered into that pickup's direction? There would have been 2 people involved, and it would have definitely been a crash. I think the only thing that was hurt was maybe the driver's pride, and I don't know, maybe I don't know how their wheels and tires fared or suspension, but at least the vehicle was drivable. I don't know what how I say it. Don't camp out next to people. I see it all the time in rainy, snowy, or foggy conditions. It's always that one idiot who decides they feel safer by hanging out next to that person in the next lane over, or maybe they want to block the traffic from for the speeders from going by doing that. But little do you know, you could be the one having the screw up, or the guy next to you could be the one having the screw up, even at your speed. So don't do it, okay? If people are going to speed, let them speed. Don't be hanging out there and blocking traffic in those kind of conditions. It's definitely not safe, all right? All right, so we'll get checked in here, and we'll dock you in and finish up. I appreciate it. Alright guys, we're checked in here. This receiver, you don't even get out of your truck when you're at the guard shack. You just stay right there. They'll come up to you, get the bills from you, get you checked in and all that. I'm going to be docking in at door 308, so pretty close to this the receiving office. Typical Walmart fashion, the yard speed limit is 15. I tend to like doing these 0030 delivery times here at Walmart because there tends to be less truck traffic. Actually, there's usually hardly anybody in the dock doors yet. Normally I'll come in and it's all drop trailers, or maybe 1 or 2 other trucks already docked in by the time I get in, or something along that line. Most of these deliveries that come in the morning are a little bit later. Like after 3 a.m. or later. Even like 7 or 8 a.m. whatever. It's sometimes it just depends on what you're delivering. One of the nice perks about getting here earlier is you get delivered early and have an easy time docking in most of the time. Let's see what we got here today, though. I see he's turning the other way. Now my dock door is going to be right there in front of that Walmart truck right now, I believe. It should be seven doors in a row right there, where this guy, this other OTR driver is trying to dock in, and then I believe Walmart is right in front of my door. I'm going to stay over here out of the way of this OTR guy. I don't know what Hirschbach's doing. I don't know if he's just staging or what, or if he's trying to set up to dock in himself. We'll figure that out. Yeah, 308 is indeed the one that's right on the other side of the personnel door. I'll get my doors open real quick and we'll dock in. Okay, so Hirschbach's not doing any moving at all, so I think we're good here. Yeah, look like we're all clear. See what I mean? There's only, I see 5 trucks knocked in already. And then some, a few drop trailers down further. That's it. Not quite enough room to work with here to get deep into there for a straight back setup. So we'll get what we can out of it. Alright, let the trailer work its own way in now. Just rotating right in there on its own. Don't even need any help. Pretty close there on the timing. I don't know I'd call it perfect, but it was pretty damn good. Now, can I get in here without running over that wheel chock? So I can actually pick it up. I might have to get out and grab the wheel chock because it's, yeah, we'll see. Well, we should be good. I think I can get to that wheel chock. Come on. Alright, so usual fashion here, disconnect from your trailer, pull forward a few feet, and go check in at the office right over here to the right. All right, we'll have some more here when we're ducking out. All right, guys, we are all done unloading here. I've already checked I got my load lock back and all that kind of crap. So we just get rolling out of here now. Yeah, it's only just after 1:30 right now, so only about an hour past my appointment time. Getting out of here pretty fast. Alright, so they moved their receiving office to the other side of the area that they're normally in, basically. Now, the door that you normally go into, no longer go there. You go to actually into the dry warehouse side over here on this side. It's the same. They're in basically the same office. They're basically in the back office of where the normal receiving area is at. But you have to go actually into the warehouse to get to the window where they're at. I think that's just going to be some temporary thing or something. I don't know. Not sure what's going on there. Renovations or something else. Who knows? Man, that dude working there, though, he's got some huge feet. So, I mean, now this guy's actually a little bit shorter than me. I'm 6'3", he's 6'1". And, yeah, I saw him because he walked off was talking to one of his coworkers, and then he come back in, and I realized that he had like obscenely long feet. And I was asking him, damn man, how big are your feet? Like what size shoe do you wear? What kind of thing? And because I swear it was like clown shoes or something, and he said 22s. It's like, holy shit, man, that's like Shaquille O'Neal size feet. I thought Shaq wore size 22s, but according to him, Shaq wore size 21s. Shaq is 7'1" or 7'2" or something like that. This guy's a whole foot shorter, and he's got actually one shoe size bigger than Shaq. It was like, holy crap, that is wild. I was kind of relating how I'm gonna go around this still. We usually go to the outer lane for checking out. Yeah, for my height, I actually have small feet. Most people my height usually wear my size 14 or 15 or so, maybe 16 even. Me personally, I wear 12. Come all the way up to the stop sign here. Alright, let's get out of here. We're going to end up piecing back over to our terminal. I don't have a pre-plan yet, and you're not allowed to park on the road over here. I do see a couple of trucks parked over here, but you risk getting a ticket there if you're there for more than a couple hours, or more so if the local PD sees that you're there for at least 2 hours. I won't be getting a pre-plan until the morning sometime. And there's something, I don't know what it is, but there's something going on with the camera system that basically is that JCT has installed in the truck. And they want me to take it, they want me to get checked in there at the shop at our yard and get it looked at. The guy who handles that, I guess, comes in at 8 o'clock in the morning, or starts working on stuff at 8 in the morning. And I talked to another driver. I guess he had the same thing going on with his truck. I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's like some intermittent connection or something. Like it's like, I don't think it has power right now, but it's some kind, like it sometimes does, sometimes doesn't have power, I guess. Is I'm gonna take a wild guess as what it is. But yeah, I was talking to another driver in the yard right before I left there on the way over here, and he was saying he had the same issue in his truck, and it only took about like 45 minutes or so before the guy was done with it. So should be kind of a quick thing. So I'll just get a full rest whenever and go get checked in and have it get whatever dealt with. I don't know what it is. Also got to figure out what this short is. My reading light's right here under on this bezel here underneath my CB radio area. I think there's a short. It gets power sometimes when it should not be getting power. I'm not sure why that is, but it is. Anyway, no need to drag this on though. So otherwise, you know, like I said, I don't know where I'm going next, so I can't really tell you where I'll be reloading at. I'll just have to surprise you with that. I'm starting to get a collection of content for things I see while trucking that I'm going to have to do something with. I normally don't want to post more than one video a day. Now, I don't want to kind of overwhelm you guys, whatever, but I do want to kind of keep regularly posting stuff. But I might actually have to post more than one video per day in order to, so I can keep, you know, avoid filling up my hard drive too much where I can't do the vlogs. So may go ahead and get those worked on and posted, or at least, you know, some worked on and posted, whatever. It's, you know, periodically here and there, even if it's on the same day as I pick up or delivery video. Alright, otherwise, nothing else really I got to really talk about here for you. Like I said, I'm going to go to our terminal, get some rest, and get this issue, these couple of things dealt with, and get back on the road. Alright, you all have a great night, great day, whatever, and I will see you on the next video, right? Have a great day.